some kind of citizens group to work with you?
I think you were it.
We're doing it right now.
Yes, we were talking about ideas of either forming a citizens group, an advisory committee, or allowing people to come and to speak. And I would consider what we have going on here as a group, on both sides. And
Okay.
quite frankly, I've had, I sent my work email out there, it's out in the public for people to comment. They can write me letters to comment. I've been inundated with phone calls on both sides. So I'm available and open to consider and to hear everyone's voice, whether they could come tonight or they would wish to reach out to me personally. They could do it anonymously through a letter, they can email me, they can stop by the police department, and I'm willing to speak to anyone who wishes to speak regarding this incident. I want to wrap up real quick, but if there's any other questions, let's have them.
Well, any farmer wants the maximum yield. That's the name of the game when you're growing. You don't always get that. You might get, I had some sick plants. I had a vole come and eat roots, lost that one. So, and there's been a number of things that are really unexplainable, phenomenal this year and some other years. Things happen, wipe out. So there needs to be some, in my opinion, collective work on the part of medical marijuana patients. If we realize that as patients, that as growing our own medicine, you don't always know everything. You need to ask them. You're new at this. There are questions. When we're going to come up to water restriction. We're going to have only 3-day watering. That's coming because they say we have plenty of water, but the state has decided that all of us have to go to the second stage water plan, and we're going to have water only be able to water 3 times a week, and that's fine. But I'm saying that we as growers need each other. This is kind of something new for a lot of us. And people that need their medicine sometimes can't grow. I have one woman that I grow for that cannot walk. She has cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
We all know people, we come to know, if they know that you grow, over the years, it's a small community, they might ask.
Okay. There have been some people, not to answer, there have been some people that have brought forth the comment about regulation as it relates to renters. Renters not being allowed to grow on the property they live on without the notarized permission of the owner. What is the response to that?
I think the owner of the property is entitled.
It seems to me the owner of the property is entitled. However, if they don't know about it, I'm just wondering what you think about that. That's actually the only question I have for
I have
the group.
something good to say about that. I'm a plumbing contractor
Yes, sir.
in this town.
Would you mind giving your name?
Glenn Womack.
Thank you, Mr. Woolman.
And I go into a lot of houses, okay? And I'm telling you, I've probably been into 40 to 50% of these homes in the Susanville area. As soon as it becomes a rental, the plastic goes up in the windows and everything goes on, and the people move out and they bail, and there's mold issues in the house. And those mold issues become big-time hazard problems. And I have friends that grow, and I'm not saying anything bad about somebody growing, but something has to be put in place for that. And I don't care, that's where it comes into a big problem for the people that are trying to do it right, and the people that are trying to do it wrong, and then they're the ones putting it out there on the street to the kids and everything else. But it is there.
Right.
And you can walk into a place and you can see, I walk in and they go, Glenn, what's causing these problems? And we got a leak someplace, and I go, look at the windows, you can tell. You can tell they were using this for growing. It's and that's a problem for somebody that owns a home.
Right.
That all of a sudden now they've got a mold issue, and they've got to clean it up. And that gets very expensive.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Woolman.
But now you realize that this mostly happens with illegal grows.
Right, exactly.
Right, it's not
That's
the-
exactly
The
that.
people that are trying.
Right, that's what I'm saying,
Right.
about when it becomes to a rental.
But you don't,
But that's why
You
you
don't-
need regulations.
right, but you don't sit there and punish the people that are doing something right, just because these guys over here are
No,
doing
that's
it
what
wrong.
I'm saying, is that there's a big issue between somebody that's trying to do it right
Right.
and somebody that's just going in there and.
Should the health department do a walkthrough?
All I did was ask,
I have
yes.
I have a question.
All I did was ask the question, what you thought about the landowner or the property owner, and I appreciate it, Mr.
Yes.
Womack, and it appears to me that the consensus of the group would be yes. Yes, ma'am,
Okay,
we're gonna wrap
if
up with
if I
this.
was to rent and I was to be growing without the permission of the person that I was renting from, does that fall back on the homeowner,
No, it's
the
all you.
violation?
The violation, no, it
No,
would
violation
fall,
would
it
fall.
would fall upon you and you'd have an illegal grow.
Okay.
If it was added to an ordinance, the way that I would envision it, is that if you did not have written permission from the property owner and your grow was inspected somehow,
Mhm.
and you didn't have it, then you're in violation of the ordinance.
Okay.
Sure.
So then it doesn't fall on the property owner, it falls upon you
Okay,
as the
I just
violator.
heard it
So,
both
that's the way.
ways, so it.
So I wanna,
But the damages goes to the property.
the deputy owner,
Yeah.
it still goes to the property owner, so we're protecting the property owner to some degree
Yeah.
by having an ordinance that doesn't allow people that are renting places to grow marijuana.
Well,
Yes, sir.
what I would suggest is if there's a renter, that they have to have the permission from the homeowner.
That's what I'm
And
suggesting.
because,
That's what
I mean,
I'm
it's
asking.
on them then.
Then
Because
it's
if they're
also,
gonna allow it, then they're gonna allow it.
then it's on the
Both
person
issues.
that owns
It's
the
on
property.
them.
Mr.
It's almost
Slaughter,
like registering with the county right there, you know, if
it's
they're-
required, if you don't own the
Yeah.
property, you've gotta have this
you
as part of the
gotta, you gotta
registration.
register, man.
Yeah.
Registering would be the
Right.
best way to control this.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're gonna
Exactly,
go
register
from
the
here, but I do think that where we started at and where we're at today, we've moved in a positive direction.
I agree.
And I appreciate your candor, I appreciate your willingness to come and to speak to me and to share this. Hopefully you also then, as some of you have spoke, appreciate my willingness to hear what you have to say. And I want to summarize it a little bit so that you know that I got it. Okay, and some of you may not totally agree with the summary because it may be pieces of what others have said. But my summary, or what I understand, is that regulation is okay to a degree. Some may be totally against regulation. Some do feel that there needs to be proof that it's needed. I understand that concern, but regulation to a degree needs to be done, that you're concerned that it would be so stringent and so strict that you would not be able to grow. So then there's a discussion because of that. If you can indoor, some are very much in favor of indoor, others don't want indoor and they want outdoor. But I think we can all agree that out of sight, out of mind, as Mr. Minkin said, is an appropriate portion of an ordinance. That maybe setbacks, amount of plants, or square footage, or something is okay, as long as it doesn't hinder your ability to grow marijuana plants. I don't know what that number is, I don't know what that size is, I don't know what those setbacks are, but are we all in agreement that, yes, that those are probably things that would be okay? I don't know what the ordinance looks like, I do not make the law, I don't even necessarily write it, I put it together and I will have an attorney review it, who actually, Mr. Minkins.
On the setback, we've talked about this a lot, and it might be a good idea that you can mitigate the setback, not require the setback if you have written permission from the neighbor on that side. Neighbor on this side says, I got no problem with it, go right up to the fence. If the neighbor has a problem, then a setback. But I think one of the problems is people not really understanding what's going on and being afraid of something they don't know what's going on. If the neighbor can be involved, the neighbor is much less likely to be
Fair enough.
a problem. We can see that we're not crazy, that we're just people.
Okay. All right, well, again, thank you for coming. If you want to talk to me individually, I'll be around for a few more minutes. Have a great evening, and you will certainly know when an ordinance is coming forward.